You know how you gotta make it all work together? That's what I need to that's what I'm trying to do with these headphones because they slacking for real. I'm trying to pin this. Good morning, team. Good morning, team. I definitely need some more headsets. Y'all know how like look at it. You gotta fit it inside the hole. That's what I gotta do. So whatever. So, peace, family. Sister Victoria X here, and we are back with another morning reading of Real Love by Ava Muhammad. Um, and as always, if you have not listened to or read chapters 1 through 10 inside of this book, we did so. So go ahead and check my YouTube out. Um, and in order to get to my YouTube, click the link in my bio or go to sistervictoriax.com and um yeah, go to sistervictoriax.com and scroll all the way down, click the YouTube icon, and then when you click on it, go to the playlist. And once you go to the playlist, am I tripping? And once you go to the playlist, you'll be able to see all of the chapters that we have already read. And so today, the same as normal, I'm going to read the actual chapter through first, and then we're going to do the commentary at the end because I know that everybody don't give two cares about my commentary. So we're going to get that out of the way and then move forward. And then a slight update to the YouTube. Normally I post the videos every single day after I finish doing the live, but I wanted to be a little bit special for those that are actually tuning in live. It's probably going to be like a 2 to 3 day delay because my YouTube is starting to look like a reading channel, and that is not what it is. So if you are live, you are blessed because you'll be able to hear it live with us. Other than that, it'll probably be like a 2 to 3 day delay so I can fit my other content in the middle of all of these read alongs. So drop one in the comment if you are with us ready and you can hear me. Because I don't know what's going on with my headphones, especially over on Instagram. And today we are reading chapter 12 in the book Real Love um, by Ava Muhammad. And chapter 12 is called Is There a Perfect Couple? So I will be completely honest with you all. This book is low-key long. So I'm not sure how long the commentary will be on this one, only because your girl got a meeting in 30 minutes. And so that's why I did it early versus not doing this at all. So here we go. Real Love by Ava Muhammad, chapter 12. Is there a perfect couple? No. But when we no, but we can strive for perfection in our marriage and we can be very near perfect. A perfect couple is one united in complete peace and harmony by real love. Courtship. First, we must consider the courtship. In the Nation of Islam, the courtship is 3 months. Its purpose could not be to know the person. It is too brief. The purpose is to protect the reputation of the woman by obligating the couple to make up their mind and get married or leave the matter alone. A protracted period of time leads to speculation, and since fornication is forbidden under the Islamic law, we want to avoid even the appearance of impropriety. Ooh, y'all, impropriety. Impropriety? We're going to parse that word in a minute. There is no purpose in stretching the courtship out because you can't really know it is the right person simply by dating. If you believe in the same God, if you find the person appealing, if your intentions are honorable, if there is some measure of financial stability, then you have the best chance of success available. A primary purpose of courtship is to establish the rules and structure of the relationship. The main task is to decide whether the person we believe we love or whom we can grow to love is the best choice. We are in court, so we have to judge whether we think we will be compatible with the person. We should avoid fantasizing and finding out if he or she can facilitate our goals and objectives. We have to see past the beautiful face, shapely or muscular body, eloquent speech, and try to penetrate the veil of perfection. Do you want to live with this man or woman forever? Understand that during the courtship, you both are polite, considerate, and affectionate, so you bring the same qualities out of each other. Later, you will both have occasions to behave rudely and will bring forth an entirely different person. In the marriage, you only know if you made the right decision after at least 3 years of marriage. It takes that long for each of you to reveal enough of yourself to decide if you are compatible. During this time, you each should do everything to make the other happy. Because without constant attention and directed will, you are giving love no chance. In some cultures, the couple goes away from family and friends for the entire first year. In the Nation of Islam, we are taught to wait at least 2 years before we begin having children. These practices maximize the chance of happiness and permanence. When we practice listening to the self accusing spirit, we make the ego submit to divine guidance. We have to do this because when the ego is permitted to rule, it strikes out against you and renders you incapable of real love. The ego needs to be the center of attention at all times and makes a happy marriage impossible. The first thing that each of you must do is work on knowing self and achieving a certain level of self control to reach a state of higher consciousness. Only a mature, submissive ego will allow us to truly love and to maintain the depth and continuity of our affection for our spouse. Continuity, sorry about that. Without self examination, self analysis, and self correction, we have no way to carry out the marital vows. We cannot give our spouse what we promised. We must always remain aware of our own separate existence from our spouse and our duty to Allah, to God, to work on the improvement of self. Why is this so critical? Why is it dangerous to completely merge and become so and so's wife or husband without your own identity? Remember, the whole basis of our mutual attraction is the polar distance between us. There are many instances where women yield to the tendency to lose their identity and are subsumed by the husband, then are hurt and disappointed when he becomes bored and wants another wife. In giving everything up, the wife has come too close and is in no longer an opposite in and is no longer an opposite which attracts, but is now the alter ego of the husband. She is too similar to hold her magnetism. Be careful to maintain your own identity. On the other hand, we cannot let our ego take control. There are certain defense mechanisms the ego sets up, which is used to protect itself from reality. There are many, and the following are familiar to most people. Repression. This is when a sensation you experience in your subconscious mind is silenced by falsifying reality or denying the existence of a threat. For example, a feeling in the pit of your stomach tells you your spouse may be seeing someone else. You pretend you don't have this feeling, but it affects your behavior and attitude towards your spouse. Projection. Here you attribute your own aggressive impulses to someone else. My mother-in-law hates me. This is what you say, and it may be true, but it is equally true that you have a strong dislike for her, but you won't admit it. You may even be jealous of her close relationship with her son or daughter. Regression. You return to immature behavior you have already outgrown. If a couple consists of two weak people who use these defenses to avoid truth, there can never be any such thing as real love. But when we practice self examination, self analysis, and self correction, we can find these attitudes if they are present in our personalities, and we can work to make sure they don't damage our marriage. Baby, go sit in the room for a second with your sister. You guys go play. Real love is intelligent and scientific. You have to show yourself as you really are and work to make sure you do not project a false image of yourself. We all have two beings within us, the one we really are and the one we would like to be. Excuse me. We tend to display the image of what we would like to be, and if what we ain't, okay, and if what we are is not in accord with God's purpose for us, we act out a role that is alien to our true nature. We make a personality which conceals who and what we really are. This results in misery, not only in our love life, but in life in general. It is hard and stressful to be other than yourself. There are many unhappy married people because they are simulating a marriage instead of really being married. Be yourself and encourage your spouse to do the same. Don't attack him or her when they try to be honest. One reason people pretend is they fear being mocked and belittled. But the amount of energy it takes to false is exhausting. Okay. The amount of energy it takes to fake is exhausting. There's no such thing as real love if the two people are not real. Another undesirable trait is jealousy. While it may in some cases be justified, it generally arises from selfishness. You cannot develop a healthy marriage by monopolizing your partner's time or treating him or her like your personal property. When you curtail another human being's freedom, no matter what the reason, you are acting in opposition to the will of Allah God. If you or your spouse suffer from this malady, you must overcome it or it will destroy the relationship. Similar, but not exactly the same, is exploitation. Sometimes a man will unwillingly deny himself the benefit of being with a woman by using her as a tool to achieve his own ends without taking her goals into consideration or even realizing she has her own goals. When you do this, you turn yourself into a parasite, a bloodsucker who feeds on the vital force of your partner. In the end, this habit ends the emotional and spiritual life of both people. The children of such couple really suffer and generally fail to do anything to, who allows themselves to be used in this way is just as guilty as the user. We have been taught extensively on the dangers of lying. There are many ways to lie, and all of them are destructive to your efforts at real love. What purpose is there for lying except to manipulate and take advantage of the very one you promise to love, honor, and cherish? Lying originates with self deception. It is one of the main causes of breakups because it makes it impossible to keep your wedding vows. It makes your whole life a contradiction, and whether intended or not, the consequences are the same. When you do something that you know will hurt or anger your spouse, you may reason that it is better to hide the truth. This only resolves your fears temporarily. When you live with another person, they are eventually going to find out, even if you don't know they have ground out. Deception is always revealed sooner or later. While we are on the subject of deception, let's look at illusion in the form of material acquisition. We live in a society of conspicuous consumption. That results in some married couples directing all of their time and effort to obtain the symbols of happiness with no substance. We should all desire the finer things in life, but be careful of collecting cars and clothes and jewelry just excuse me, just to project an image. Acquiring material possessions and social climbing absorbs a lot of energy and becomes an exercise in futility. Only you attain real love. Once you attain real love, it will generate the creative power to raise your economic and social standards. One of the most recognizable attributes of real love is its giving nature. When you only want to receive, you lose the capacity to love. In other words, I did this now, he should do that. Ooh, is not real love. Love cannot be measured by keeping a running tab on what we gave. Of course, this is not of course this is not to suggest you do everything while your spouse does nothing. It is natural to anticipate that the acts of generosity on your part will inspire the same in your spouse. I am only saying it should not be calculated. Your giving should be an impulse that comes right up out of your love and desire to please or take care of your spouse. If one or both of you is calculating and demanding, love becomes an obligation and is no longer real. When love is real, the couple shares responsibility. A defect in human nature is the tendency to blame someone else when something goes wrong. Behind this behavior is the need to be secure, so we always want to be clear of guilt. Guilt may subject us to some sort of penalty, and that threatens our security. So we tend to avoid the role of the guilty party. This is one of the most frequent causes of the bitter, nasty arguments that only married people seem to get into. You fight because each one of you is determined to save him or herself from a conviction, even if it means sacrificing the other. Being the innocent one gives you leverage to impose your will on your spouse. Do not be afraid to point out wrong when you sincerely believe it exists, but don't run when it is your turn to sit in the hot seat. If you both realize that you are no longer two, but one, then it doesn't matter whose fault it is. You now carry you now carry the weight of one another's weakness, just like you benefit from one another's strengths. That's how real love works. Everything is shared. And while we are on the subject of sharing, remember that this is why it is important to make an intelligent choice in partners. Unequal matches, where the level of one far exceeds the other, means you will burden yourself with their weight. By this, I do not mean just comparing age, education level, or background, or height. I also mean mental maturity and spiritual awareness. You can take it or let it alone, but the path to perfection in a marriage requires that each one must respect the role he or she has been given by nature. When this doesn't happen, the natural balance is upset and true happiness is almost impossible. When we set forth the proposition that male is strength and forthrightness and female is beauty and refinement, this concept is not limited to the physical realm, but refers to psychological and spiritual qualities. Feminine beauty is displayed through thoughts, words, and deeds. It means inner loveliness in directing the power of conception to her family and her environment. Masculine strength refers to truthfulness, spiritual awareness, and mental stability. When inner strength is absent, a man becomes overly aggressive or effeminate, while a woman becomes too authoritarian or domineering. A woman seeks tenderness and affection, a strong shoulder to lean on. When she cannot find it, she may have to adopt a posture that really corresponds to being a man. This condition has become prevalent in the Black community. In a marriage, women need to work on emotional control and the elevation of objective reasoning. Men, on the other hand, need to develop more sensitivity and intuition. To form a really excellent marriage, a man should be constant, steadfast, and in control over his physical self, while a woman should be gentle, loving, and in control over her words. Real love is nothing spooky. It does not just happen. It comes through guidance, training, and practice. Love in the marriage is inseparable from the individual, and it is only by achieving a degree of self control and willpower can we overcome the difficulties that are inevitable when two become one. Have patience with each other, compliment each other, support each other in times of trouble and failure, enlighten one another in new fields of endeavor which one has mastered and the other may know nothing about. Do not allow routine and boredom to take over. Respect one another's privacy and allow one another freedom for individual development. Don't sleepwalk through your marriage or put it on automatic pilot. Put everything you've got into each and every day. Once we know we are making progress with these areas and we are sure we are with the right person, it is time to take the relationship to a higher level. After 5 or more years, it is time to reap the fruits of the union. The joy of being with someone you know and trust, who will stand by you and come to your defense, and for whom you will do the same. Your likes and dislikes have been shaped into happy medium, and it is possible to attain peaks of happiness that you can never know alone. You will realize you are in a wonderful, never ending process, and you thank Allah God for it. So, that is the conclusion of chapter 12. Is There a Perfect Couple inside of the book Real Love by Ava Muhammad. So, now we are briefly going to. Sorry about that. All these alarms going off. So now we are briefly going to get into commentary because, like I said, I have a meeting in about 10 minutes. Um, and so if you have not read chapters 1 through 11 with us, go ahead and click the link in my bio or go to sistervictoriax.com. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and click the YouTube icon. And that is going to allow you to go to my YouTube and click the playlist read alongs, and all of the chapters are there. And also, if you would like to get updated and you want to know when I go live, especially when I'm doing my read alongs, text Healthy Hue, all caps, no space, to 77948 so that you can stay updated. And now into the commentary. This chapter was thick. It was thick and it was so heavy. And now that I'm thinking about it, I think what I'm going to do is tomorrow, instead of going directly into chapter 13, I'm going to read chapter 12 again tonight so that we can get an illustrious commentary on this, because she dropped so many jewels. And like I said yesterday, the beauty about the way that she wrote this book, because sometimes you'll read a book and it's not always evident that they're building up on the skills or the talents that they gave you in the last chapter, but it's such a good comprehensive body of work that she put in here, because as I'm reading, I'm noticing all of the little tips and tricks that she gave us in the past as far as the levels of a relationship. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reread this chapter tonight. And because I need to get off right now so I can prepare for my meeting, we're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to do a commentary of chapter 12, Is There a Perfect Love? So I asked that I'm gonna have to go to the YouTube. I'm mad I got on late. Yes, ma'am. Um, Praise be to Allah. So I do want to say some hellos and we can look at the stuff in the comments for a little bit. We have, hey, walaikum salam. I am Ramadan. Peace, peace, peace. Sister Yashika, Aaron's in the building. Shug is in the building. And hey, oh, I forgot your name. Monlisha. Black Goddess, Suge is up in here, True to Vita, such a beautiful knowledge. Hey, covered MGT, all praises due to Allah. I'm mad I got on late. Yes, sis. So actually the new thing for my YouTube, just to keep you all updated, I will not be putting the chapters right on my YouTube after it's probably gonna be like a 2 to 3 day delay, only because I'm noticing my YouTube it's starting to look like a reading channel, and that's not exactly what it is. So it's either gonna be a 2 or 3 day delay, or I'm going to endeavor to increase my video output so there's at least a break in the read-alongs. So that's all that I have for you today. If you have not been to my YouTube, go ahead and go to I gotta find my book. Go ahead and go to sistervictoriax.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom and click the YouTube icon. And if you do not know anything about me, you're just tapping in for the first time. Also, if you go to sistervictoriax.com, there's 2 videos at the very bottom of my the page, which is just for you to learn a little bit about me. So go ahead and click those, watch those interviews and come back and comment what you learned. I'm going to share this video. It's going to stay up on my page. So once it's posted, go ahead and comment 2 things that you got from this particular chapter. Text Healthy Hue, all caps, no space, to 77948 to get motivational messages and updates when I go live. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.